Hello everyone. Let's start with the topic of heights and distances. This is just the application of trigonometry. Trigonometry we have done in our earlier classes. So trigonometry is used in two ways. First, in terms of if I go with the formula, or I can say the identities, that is simply cos square plus sin square theta is equal to 1 in that way. Otherwise it will go as the value part, that I have the theta known with me, then I have to find the mathematical value for that theta. So in this we'll go with these two things. According to the question we need to approach, and trigonometry is mostly used to find the distance. As we will do in this unit, then you will have the idea how theta is important in terms of finding the distance. So now let's go the content part. Introduction, I'll go with the content part of in this. Introduction means we have to go with the trigonometric equation that is known as identities. Second, the t ratios. T ratio means the value of theta. For that I need to find the value particularly. T ratios directly goes with the value of theta. At that theta I am having this particular value. Now angle of elevation and depression, this is the most important thing for this unit. Reason being, if I need to go to find the height, I need to move my head up and less. If I go and look at the thing below and up, what? My line of sight. If I'm looking straight, for simple example, if this is a person, if I talk about it this way, if this is a person standing, he is looking it in this way. This is his line of sight. So anything which goes up, anything which goes down, I need to deal in that way. Because if the thing is taller, if the thing is smaller, then I have to move my head up and down. So I need to go in that way. Then most importantly, we'll cover the problems. Problems on the particular scenario when two sides are given, when one angle and one side is given, when two heights and one angle is given. Secondly, two angles, one height, two angles, two height, and calculating time and distance. These are the varieties of questions which companies ask, which the examiner used to ask from this unit. Done? So we'll go in this. Let's start with the topic. Now, trigonometry, as we all are aware of, trigonometry is mostly applicable in right angle triangle. This is right angle triangle where theta A is equal to 90 degree. As I have written in this, in a right angle triangle OAB means angle BOA theta, I need to find for this where angle A is equal to 90 degree, means right angle at angle A. Consideration, this is the value theta I have. Sin theta we all have done in this way. Sin theta P upon B H, cos theta B upon H, tan theta, that is P upon B. Now what is P, what is H, what is B? P is equal to perpendicular. If I write out perpendicular, P is for perpendicular. H is for hypotenuse, B is for base. Now this is the identity that sin theta is perpendicular by hypotenuse AB upon OB, then base upon hypotenuse OA upon OB, tan theta perpendicular upon base AB upon AO. Now these three are the inverse of these three. For simple example, cosec theta 1 by sin means hypotenuse upon perpendicular. Sec theta 1 by cosine theta, that is hypotenuse upon base. Cot theta, that is 1 upon tan theta, that is base upon perpendicular. Now important thing, perpendicular is dependent on the theta you are looking for. For simple example, if I give you the particular example, let we talk about this theta, that is theta dash. For this all the values will change. So in layman's language I can define, if this is a right angle triangle, if this is the theta I am looking for, the side opposite to theta is always considered as perpendicular, and side adjacent to the angle and the perpendicular is base, and the other side is hypotenuse. I hope this is clear. For this theta, this base will act as P, this P will act as B, and this remains H. Perpendicular is always opposite to the angle you are looking for. That is for particular thing. Clear? Now move to next one. Now these are the identities as well as the t ratios. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. 1 plus tan square theta is equal to secant square theta. 1 plus cot square theta is equal to cosecant square theta. These three identities we can apply. We can apply where? In respect to the question demand. But T ratios, that is the sine theta, if theta is known to you as 0 degree, as 30 degree, as 45 degree, I can directly jump up to the value for that. So for simple example, in the previous we have done sine theta is equal to P upon H. If theta is known to you, you have just the mathematical number here. Either it can be 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2, any value will be there. So with this, if P is given to me, I can find the H for this. This is what the application of trigonometry is. This is what I am talking about. This is what this unit is completely about. We have this thing, we have one of this thing, then we need to find the third one. Clear? Hopefully this till now it is clear. So now this, as I have discussed in the first or second slide, that angle of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation, this is the line of sight, I can say. Line of sight of a person. Line of sight, if you are looking upward from the line of sight, that is known as angle of elevation. That my neck is moving in upward direction from my line of sight. If I am looking downward from the angle of elevation, that is known as angle of depression. From line of sight, if I am moving up, that is angle of elevation. From line of sight, if I am moving down, looking down, that is angle of depression. This is what I have defined. And this is always, remember, that is always be a horizontal line. That is why I said line of sight. The height of the person varies, so his line of sight vary. So that accordingly, that I have the idea whether he is looking up or down. So now moving to the next slide. Look, this is the problem 1, type 1 of problem. As I have mentioned, problems, this is the first type. 2 of the sides are given. In this, all the triangles mentioned will be the right angle triangle. Right angle triangle will be there, all the cases. So find the angle of elevation of the sun when the shadow of the pole of 18 meter height is 6 root 3. Now understand this one. Somewhere here it will be the sun. Sun will be here. So from here the shadow, the sun rays will come. This is the object they are looking for. So from this area the shadow will be formed. And this is the shadow part. Shadow will be always on the floor or on the ground. I can write it as ground. So the angle of elevation of the sun is also from the ground is this theta. And the height of the pole is with me. Shadow length is with me, that is 18. So I can directly go. Which trigonometric ratio help me with the P? This is the side opposite, this is P. Adjacent to theta as adjacent to P, this is B. So which trigonometric? Perpendicular is with me, base is with me, angle I need to find. So tan theta is required. So tan theta is always equal to P upon B. So tan theta is equal to 6 root 3 upon 18. This is what I have written, 6 root 3 upon 18. So as we have done 1 by root 3, at what value of theta? How I can write at what value of theta? Tan theta will be 1 root 3, that is equal to 30 degree. Done. In this particular, remember this thing, right angle triangle should be there. Side opposite to the theta is always perpendicular. Side adjacent to theta as well as the perpendicular is the base. So I need to go in this way. Secondly, from the base, the theta is equal to the shadow angle. Shadow angle, that means shadow will be on the floor or on the ground. But from the top of the tower, the sun is sending the rays, but from this top, it is blocking the rays. So from this to this, they will be in the straight line with the sun. That is why this theta is transferred. Secondly, if you extend this one, this is the angle formed by the top of the tower with the theta. So these two are the corresponding angles. Done. So now move to the next type of question. One angle and one side. One angle and one side. How you can go? From a point P on a level ground, the angle of elevation. So this is the point P. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower. This is the tower. So this is assumed as the tower. I'll write it as tower. The angle of elevation is 30 degrees. So theta is 30 degree. If the tower is 100 meter high, then what is the distance of the point P from the foot of the tower? Assume it, foot of the tower is B, is 0 or O. So from this, again, what I need to find? I need to find this base value. How I have assumed it as a base value? Because theta, side opposite to this, is perpendicular. So perpendicular value is 100. This is what? Perpendicular value is 100. Angle is equal to theta. I need to find the value of base. Again, tan theta, which helps me perpendicular upon base. Tan 30 degree. 30 degree is 1 by root 3. We have to remember these positionings. We need to find the values of theta two ways. Either theta is known or theta to be found. So if theta is known, then you need to find the value of tan theta or trigonometric ratios on that theta. Done. So 100 upon base you need to find, that is 100 upon root 3, that 100 into root 3, that is 173. How 173? Root 3 is approximately is equal to 1.73. Done. So if I multiply it by 100, so answer will be 1.73. Clear to this? Hypotenuse is the highest side or the largest side of the right angle triangle. Done. So now moving to the next variety. Two heights at one angle. An observer 1.6 meter tall. Now this is the person standing. His line of sight will be this one. Away from 203 meter away from a tower. That means the distance between the person and the tower is 203 by into root 3. The angle of elevation from this eye, from his eye to the top of the tower is 30. Means this is the angle of elevation 30 degree. Not from this side. It is from this side. So side opposite to this is perpendicular. Done. So angle of elevation from the top of the tower is 30 degree. Find the height of the triangle. So I'll go as A, B, C, D and E. Height of the tower is AD to B. But in triangle, if I say in triangle A, B, C, I can apply T ratios. I can apply T ratio easily. How? T ratio is applicable because this is the right angle triangle. If I apply T ratio, then AC will be known to me. Then AD is equal to AC plus CD. CD, which is already known to me, that is the height of the person, that is 1.6. So this is what I have written. Base value is with me, that is 203 upon into root 3. Angle is 30 degree. Height of the tower, this is height of the tower, that is perpendicular plus 1.6. So perpendicular I can find. Tan theta is equal to perpendicular upon base 30 degree P upon 203 upon into root 3. So tan 30 degree 1 by root 3 perpendicular upon 203 root 3. So if you solve this, perpendicular is 200. But this is not my answer. I need to find the height of the tower. Height of the tower is perpendicular plus 1.6. So 201.6. So till now we have done three varieties. One, when theta is unknown. This is unknown. Second, when theta is known. Third, when theta is known but two different heights I have. Done. So now fourth variety, when the angles are with me for one height but I need to deal with two different angles. One basic thing I'll define which is required now. Now look, this is the angle 30 degree. I assumed it. The more I come closer to the figure or to this straight line or this height, I need to bend my neck upwards. So the more I come closer, the greater will be the theta. Theta value increases if I coming closer to the body. That is why this is 90 degree. So we can go in this way. Second, if this is the value, if I increases the height, again I need to look ahead of that angle. If this is 30 degree, it has to be more than 30 degree. Done. So this is I need to deal with. In this, an aeroplane when 103 meter high passes vertically above another plane. So one plane is already on the flight, the other plane above this is flying. at an instant when their angle of elevation from the same observer, means from this and this same point, when they are in a straight line, I can say when they are in vertically straight line, a person is looking for both, so the angle of observing is 60 degree and 45. That is obvious. The plane which is on the higher value will have 60 degree theta. The plane on the lower level will have 45 degree theta. That is what I have discussed just now. How many meters high is the one other than the second flight? So that means I need to find this thing. Overall height of one aeroplane is with me, that is 100 root 3. Second one falls in the triangle of right angle triangle. First thing, A B C, in triangle ABC, in triangle ABC. Perpendicular is with me, perpendicular is given, theta is given, means trigonometric ratio I can go, so base I can find. Second thing, base is common for both the triangles. I hope this is clear. For ABC or for DBEC. For ABC triangle base is BC, for DBC triangle base is BC. So with this and 60 degree I can go with the base. We will see in the next slide, then you will have the idea. So difference I need, this H is the perpendicular one, that is 100 root 3, perpendicular to that is DC, which I need to find, or I can write AC minus DC. Done. So in this is what you need to solve. Angle 1, I told you in the upper triangle ABC, this is the part of ABC triangle. Tan 60 degree is equal to 100 root 3 upon base. Tan 60 root 3, 100 root 3 base, so base will be 100 meter. So now in triangle DBC, theta is equal to 45 degree known to me, BC, that is base, is known to me, that is 100 meter. So perpendicular, that is equal to DC. DC I can find out. So angle 2 is equal to 45 degree, perpendicular 2 upon 100. Tan 45 degree is equal to 1. So perpendicular 2 is 100. So height difference, perpendicular 1 minus perpendicular 2, that is 173 minus 100, that is 73. This is my desired answer. Clear? So I need to go with the triangles. Bigger triangle will help me to find the base for the smaller triangle, and with the help of the base I'll get the height of the smaller triangle. This is what the order I have to follow. 4 varieties of question we are completed. Now going for the next one. 2 angles, 2 heights. Now in this, 2 towers face each other. This figure I can draw in this way. For more clarity I can form in this way. 2 towers face each other separated by a distance of d as 20 meters. So distance between them. Is 20 meter. Done. The distance between the bases of the tower is 20 meter. As seen from the top of the first tower, the angle of depression, means first tower's top, angle of depression of the second tower's base. From this I am going this way. So angle of depression, this is the angle of depression, that is 60 degree. That of the top of is, means from this, if I am looking the top of this, the angle of depression is 30 degree. Find or what is the height of the second tower. This is what the consideration I have. So first thing, if I talk about this angle is 60 degree. These two lines, line A, B is parallel to line CD. So this 60 degree is equal to this 60 degree. Alternate interior angles. First thing clear, and draw this one. This 30 degree is equal to this 30 degree. Till now done. So I'll apply. What I will apply? Just give me a moment. Let me change the color of the pen so that it will be clear to all. Blue will be okay. Done. So now this triangle E, F and G. In this I have to find couple of things. Understand this one? I have to find couple of things. In triangle EFG, angle G is equal to 60 degree. Done. In triangle EFH, M and N. Angle N is equal to 30 degree. This is what we have done. This is what we have calculated. Angle 1 is equal to 60 degree. Angle 2 is equal to 30 degree. Perpendicular or the base, or this base is equal to 20 degree. So I can find this height. In triangle, if I apply in triangle E, F and G, angle G is equal to 60 degree. Angle G is equal to 60 degree. One thing, FG is equal to 20 meter, that is the base. So tan 60 degree is equal to EF upon base, that is 20 degree. Tan 60 degree root 3 is into base, that is 20, is equal to EF, that is equal to EF. So with the help of this, I got the EF value as 20 root 3. Done. Now this is also the 20 meter. From the top of the lower tower to the midpoint or the any point on the same line, horizontal line, if I stretch from the top of the smaller tower to the higher tower, the distance between them remains same. So in triangle, if I go, I can find the value of EM. I'll solve it here. Triangle E, M and N. N is equal to 30 degree. Mn is equal to 20 meter. Again, in this triangle, I'll apply tan theta. Then tan theta is equal to tan 30 degree is equal to base I have, that is 20 meter. I need to find EM. EM upon 20. So EM will be 20 upon root 3. So this is the value I have for both the things. Now what is the height of the second tower? If they are asking, height of the second tower is EF minus EM. This is what we have written, base 2 minus base 1. So EF, so what value I need? EF minus EM. Done, because I need MF, that is the height of the second tower. So this is 20 root 3 minus 20 upon root 3. Done, so I can write 60 minus 20 upon root 3, which is 40 upon root 3. Clear? So this is my desired answer. I hope this is clear to all of you. Consideration, if I go with the base value, I will solve with the base value in this case. Because the base is common in both the triangles, the base is common to me, I will go in this way. This is the base common to me. This is the base common to me. Done. So now let's move to the next one. This is the next variety, calculating the time and speed. As we are well aware, speed is equal to distance upon time. Distance we are already dealing with. If they give us the time for covering that distance, I'll go with the speed. If they give us the speed with the distance, I'll go with the time. So let's do. You are stationed at a radar base and you observed an unidentified plane at an altitude height 200 meter. So this is an unidentified plane at 2000 meter flying height. Towards your radar base at an angle of elevation 30 degree. This is the angle of elevation 30 degree and it is moving towards this way. After exactly 1 minute, so that means from this position to this they have taken 60 seconds. They have taken 60 seconds from this position to this. So angle becomes 60 degree. That the angle at that point the angle of elevation is 60 degree. Done. Two things happening. Plane is moving towards the radar, which leads to two things. Change in angle, change in position. Change in position with respect to time is required because theta is with me, time is with me. So change in position I need. So angle 1 is 30 degree given, angle 2 is 60 degree given, perpendicular distance because both the angles are from this side, side opposite to this is 2000, that is 2000 meters. Secondly, The plane is not coming down. They didn't mention that plane is coming down or plane is taking off. That means the plane is traveling at the same height throughout the time duration. So time is equal to 60 seconds. Speed I need, distance upon time. Distance is equal to, now understand this thing, triangle A, B, C and triangle D, B and E. So I can say in triangle, I'll write ABC. I'll get to know with BC because this side is also 2000 meter. I'll get to know BC. In triangle DB and E, in triangle DBE, I'll get to know BE. The distance between these two or the difference between these two is the travel of the plane. This is what base 1 minus base 2 is the travel of the plane. Clear? So now move. In this we will go directly. For angle 1, perpendicular is 2000, base I need to find. That is 2000 root 3. This is for this smaller area. So I'll deal with this thing. This is the one case. The other case is this one. So this is 30 degree. I have calculated this base 1. This is 2000. This is 2000. This is the traveling position. This is what I need to find. So this is the base 1. Base 1 tan 30 degree, 2000 upon base 1. This is 2000 upon root 3. Now in this case, this one is base 2. And this angle is 60 degree. So the height is remain same 2000. Height is 2000 only. So perpendicular upon base 2, 2000 upon root 3. So this is the condition. So base 1 minus base 2 is my desired answer. So this is how I need to deal with this. So this is the total travel time. Time is equal to 60 seconds. Distance base 1 minus base 2. Same, the speed formula is equal to distance upon time. Distance is this. Time you have calculated. And this, read the question properly. They have mentioned that you need to go with meter per second. This is already in meter. This was in minutes. That the time is in minute, 1 minute. So you need to convert it into seconds, that I have already converted. Done. I hope this is clear. So these are the total varieties of question which the company used to ask, and this topic have. I hope this is clear. So thank you all.